Well, hi everyone, well, welcome back to the channel and our tiny off-grid home here in the mountains in Spain. Well, this week it's all about showing you the inside of the property, but as well as that, we've got the whole of the outside to sort. We've got cherries to harvest, we've got a veggie patch to sort out, and so much more. Let's have a look. We promised you a look around the house, so Izzy is going to take the lead. So Izzy,
come on in.
Let's go.
Well, welcome. This is our kitchen. It's fairly basic, but it's got everything we need. You wouldn't know from being in here that this is an off-grid house. All of the appliances are regular domestic appliances, so we've got a normal fridge freezer, we've got a gas oven with an electric grill, we've got a gas hob here, and all of this comes from a gas bottle that's stored outside. The hob is very typically Spanish, so it's got one big ring, which is where the Spanish families make their paella on a Sunday. I use it for risotto. There's an extraction fan there. We've got water on demand, so there's a pump outside in the pump house. So as soon as you turn the tap on, really good flow of water. In this cupboard in the corner here is a typical Spanish water heater. We don't need a full-on boiler because we don't have any heating in the house, but this heats the hot water for the sinks and for the shower. We have a regular household washing machine under here. And yeah, it's a really good space for cooking. I had this very romantic vision when we moved in that I'd be able to reach out of here, these lovely shutters, very traditional shutters that open, and pick herbs, but we ended up putting fly screens on every single window because otherwise we'd just be absolutely swarmed. So let's move on into the living room. So you'll notice when you come in that there are no windows in this space, and this was the very original part of the house. All of the outside rooms have been added on over the years. We tend to keep the doors open to let the natural light in, but the Spanish way would be to have all of the windows closed, all of the doors closed, and all of the curtains shut. And we do actually notice when we do that it feels a lot cooler inside. But this space does tend to be quite cool, and there are days where we've come in from outside and just starfished on the tiles because it's so cool. So not really a lot to say about this. We have a regular television in here. We run this through our Starlink, so we stream everything via a Fire Stick, which works really, really well. We have a little log burning stove here, so we chop our own wood, source and chop our own wood for this. And this probably runs for maybe 4 months of the year. Phil, are you going to correct me there? Is that about right?
Yeah, maybe 5, depending on the winter.
Yeah. So this room here is the spare room. It's small but functional and does a really good job. Well, we don't use it very often. We quite often sleep in the truck if another couple come to stay, just because it's a bit easier. This is our bathroom. We completely ripped out and refurbished when we moved in. It was quite dark, and we wanted something that was a bit more open and light and a bit more modern. So we have a regular flushing toilet here, just goes out to our septic tank, power shower, sink, and so on. Not really a lot to say about that. It's just a bathroom. And over here, if you come this way, my cameraman, this is our bedroom. So this is quite a big room. It's lovely and airy. And it stays really cool because the window is underneath the quite deep eaves outside. We've got 3 lovely lights at the back here that let the morning light in, so the sun rises in that direction. And although we have a fan, I don't think we feel we need air conditioning. It's cool enough. We might retile in here one day. I particularly don't like these tiles, but that's a job for Phil. We put all of these tiles down probably in the first couple of years that we owned the property. And we really like them. And then into the final room. We told you it wasn't very big. This is our sort of workspace, office, stroke, storage area. So we've got some wardrobes behind this door where we sort of store all our towels and sheets and just stuff you can't store anywhere else. And then some working space, and a very typical Spanish gas heater, which we move around the house before it's cold enough to need a full-on fire, but when you might just want a little bit of heat. So that really is it. Have I missed anything, Phil?
I don't think so. You did really well.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Izzy touched on the windows within this room, and when we first bought the house, we thought, right, we'll put in 2 big north-facing roof lights. It'll help chuck in a bit of natural light and help with ventilation. But we had so many other things to do with the house that we just thought we'll do it at some point in the future. And I'm so pleased that we didn't ever put them in, because the amount of thermal gain that we would have got from them would have, well, it would have spoiled the space, because when it's 35 or 40 degrees outside and you need that bit of respite, to come in here with lower light levels and significantly lower temperatures, well, it's just a lovely space to be. And it's a necessity really in the height of summer. And I think, you know, when you go on holiday and it's hot, maybe for a week or 2 weeks, and you're in your maybe an air-conditioned room, you know, you can live with that. But when you're here month after month and it's super hot, you know, particularly when you have every 3 or 4 years, you have a particularly hot summer, it's quite hard to live with. It's actually quite draining. So I'm pleased that we never ever actually fitted them. Well, I've just clocked a local farmer. He's a really lovely lad. Vicente, his name is. It's actually a father and son. They own a lot of land around here, and they actually manage our back field with all the cherries in it. He's a good man, and I've just asked him if he'd pop over and till our field, because I've always done it in the past, but it's a huge amount of work, especially with the grass as tall as it is right now. It would take me a week to sort that out, whereas it would probably take him about an hour thereabouts in his tractor. So he said, yeah, I'll be over. He said, I'm really busy right now because he's got lots of cherry trees, and he said, look, I'm really sort of up to here with, you know, harvesting the cherry trees right now. So once I get a moment, I'll pop down and, you know, till the field for you, which is great. And I think, you know, it cost me a couple of quid, but it'll be worth it. I'll never give you a price on these things, but I've, you know, I don't know, 40 euros, 50 euros, something like that. And I say the field because I'm talking about the area that's fenced in, because we've got a real problem here with wild boar, and it is a problem. It's a bit of a problem across Spain, to be honest with you. In those rural locations, in the mountains, in the campo, they just sort of roam freely, especially at night. So any vegetables, any fruit trees, anything that's fair game, you know, they just come in, dig everything up, and they're very destructive, really. So hence the reason that this is fenced. And at night especially, we make sure all the gates are closed, and I suppose it adds, you know, a bit of extra security as well, but it really is to keep the boar out. And yeah, it does a pretty good job actually. And just whilst I'm waiting for him to come over, you can sort of see what we're dealing with here. So I've got my little Muller trailer here, full of grasses, just full of, I mean, these are ornamental grasses, and they've self-seeded everywhere, and they're a bit of a pain in the ass really. So I've just pulled a couple of hundred out. This is the second trailer load since I've been here, and there's still plenty more to come. So yeah, it's productive.
Well, one of the things we did here when we moved in a few years ago was to plant honeysuckle. We wanted the privacy from the fence. You can see it's a very sort of traditional Spanish chicken wire fence, and we wanted to cover it, but it has gone absolutely crazy. And that is what we've pulled out in the space of about half an hour. Phil's still under the cherry tree. There he is. I feel like David Attenborough filming him through the lush undergrowth.
All right.
Trying to free up some trees that we put in, and the cherry tree from this mass of honeysuckle. It just grows so well here, and that's what we've tried to do everywhere, is plant things that would grow naturally in the environment, just not the weeds.
Well, we are slowly but surely getting there with the weeds and cutting everything back. It's been a bit of a mammoth effort actually. You can see here in the trailer we've got, it's probably about the 8th or 9th load. So we are getting there, and it's starting to look good. But, you know, I say that, right over by the solar panels in front of me, there's lots more weeding to be done, The field has to be raked through and then tilled again. There's a little breeze this evening, which is nice because the weather is just really starting to pick up now, which is gorgeous. And it's almost time for a glass of wine. But first, it's time to get rid of this lot.
Another little job for today is Phil balancing precariously on a ladder, trying to do a bit of sanding of our metal framework that provides shade in the summer. You right up there?
Yep. It's I mean, it's just sun damage,
Oh, the sun destroys everything though, really, doesn't it?
but it is starting to actually rust through now. Just little bits here and there, but yeah, it needs paint. Well, it's 2:45 in the afternoon, and I can't believe it's taken this long to sand this lot down. It was a little bit worse than what I was expecting. So I'm just going to swab the whole thing down, get some plastic down underneath on the tiles, and then get some paint on it.
One of the ways we sort of reclaim the space, I suppose, after we've been away for a while is by just tidying up, getting rid of the weeds, cutting the hedges back. But we've been away this time for well over a year, and so things have gone a bit crazy. I have a little potting bench in the corner down here when I was doing veggies and seeds and things during lockdown, and it was absolutely covered with honeysuckle. So I've just been clearing that up. I'm going to show you what I've been doing. Okay, you can see where the honeysuckle had just encroached. It was covering my little bench. I've pulled out everything from underneath it. The honeysuckle was growing through the wall. I've selected some pots to keep. We're going to probably take a lot to the recycling bin. We bought some new compost today. There's the honeysuckle that's got to go in the trailer, and then I'll be ready to start potting my herbs. How's it going, Phil?
Almost there with the first coat. Thank God. I'm about a day and a half into this. Oh my God. But it's looking good actually. I'm pleased with it.
Yeah.
And just in the nick of time because it's getting really hot.
And it's going to rain in the next couple of days.
That's true actually.
It's hot and raining.
Yeah. Well, frustratingly, I've run out of paint. That means 30 minutes down this mountain road, grab a pot of paint, 30 minutes back. But it's not a complete waste of time because Izzy's jumped in with me and we're going to get some herbs.
Smells amazing. Getting all these wafts of mint and rosemary, thyme.
Go on then, let's get it
Lovely.
packed up. Well, we're just taking a break. We're sat down here having a cup of tea and a cheeky little biscuit. And I've just glanced over, I didn't even realise, because Izzy never said anything. And she's been working her magic. Have a look at these. Well, it's only taken me 2 days, but it's done. It's painted, it's finished. Thank goodness for that. Right, my little job this morning is to get the sunshade up. It's a sort of a 10-15 minute job, but it's really effective when it's up, and that'll stay up until about sort of September when the storms start to roll in, and it does a great job. Yeah, that just makes all the difference. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a little bit to do, yeah, isn't it? Not much.
A little bit around here, and the stuff that's growing around the rocks is quite hard to get out, but
Yeah.
I think I've done most of the gravel. Every so often I just keep seeing one I've missed. I thought you were bringing me over a G&T.
Well, I thought you might want to come to the shade.
Yeah. Oh, have you done a G&T?
I have.
Oh, yes, I will definitely come to the shade.
Come on then. All right.
Yeah. That's a bit of a killer on the back.
Yeah, that was a good day's progress though.
It was. I don't think there's much left to do. Weed-wise, anyway. Did you get the lights in?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh. Right,
Yeah,
we're
good.
getting there.
I think we are. Oh. How lovely.
Right, let me go and grab my beer.
Yeah. Hey, cheers, babe.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, we're off to pick some cherries. They're looking really well at the minute. We've got these old cherry trees around this side of the house. A couple of them have died, but one is still really delivering a lot of fruit.
Oh, I think I need my hat off.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Are
Might
they
be here
good?
for some time.
One for the pot,
They're really good.
27 for you.
Yeah. Speaking of pot, right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm just going to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. Difficult.
I'm really surprised the birds haven't had them all.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many big, deep red ones up here. They're gorgeous. I need the big ladder, actually.
How are you doing up there?
There's hundreds. I mean,
Hang on, there's the bowl.
hundreds. Ah, the Vicente. This is the farmer come to cut our grass. Oh, what a good guy. Right. Well, I'm delighted with that because the grass was just getting so long. It's getting a bit ridiculous really, but that is making short work of it. Well, we've got more cherries than we know what to do with. Honestly, have a look at this.
I gave up with the bowl in the end because it became too difficult to cart around while I was up the ladder. Oh, there's a manky one. Actually, these aren't all going to fit. The bowl's not big enough. Oh no.
Oh my god, okay. It's a bit ridiculous, really.
There's a lot of cherries. So we tried making cherry jam one year, but it didn't really work. I don't think I'm a jam sort of person. I tried sour cherries, that didn't really work either. So we just ate them, which is the best way, really. So we'll give a load of these away. We're going to see my sister tomorrow, and she loves cherries.
A few people in the village?
A few people in the village, yeah. But we've got another, that's half of one tree maybe.
Yeah.
And we've got another 4 or 5 to pick. Luckily they all come in at different times, so we don't have too much of a glut. But who doesn't mind a glut of cherries? Oh yeah, look at those.
Well, the sun is just about to go down. It's absolutely glorious this evening, and I'm just delighted with that. I mean, he was here for about an hour and nearly an hour and a half actually, so there was, you know, he was going quite slow, so it's well turned over. So I think, you know, the vegetable patch in particular is looking great. I'll just take a walk over so you can see it, but I'm really pleased with this. This is ready to plant. So although it was needing me to go over it again, I've asked him to do it, and you can sort of see the difference between the vegetable patch and the rest of it, and you know, that for me is money well spent. Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and don't forget to hit that like button, leave us a comment, and join us next week because we've got so much more happening. Those vegetables will be going in. I think we're definitely going to get the pull up because it's really starting to warm up here, and so much more on the land management. Of course there is. It's never ending. See you then.